And then right here, we'll talk about that a little later. We got some big ideas right there. Put the get this number right here.
I'm not sure if people will love it or hate it, eh?
This number and this little bitty, teeny tiny high stall torque converter.
We got plans.
We got plans. It's going to make some people that's going to say, heck yeah.
That would be a nice.
Some people are not going to have any idea.
Literally, dude, look shocked.
And there's going to be a certain group of people out there that are going to be
It looked pretty.
highly ticked off at what we're getting ready to do.
It would just look perfect. Everything. That right there.
Whoa. All right, we are back in the shop. When we left off last time, y'all saw we were a little down, but things have picked up. We actually went back and took the bottle back to the where we get our welding gas. I explained to the guys what happened. They were, man, super nice. They said, man, it happens. Let me give you another bottle. So thanks, because they could have said, I know how it would look. Anybody could come in there and say, yeah, the bottle was empty, and they'd have left the bottle open. So it was really cool that they gave us another bottle. So we got welding gas now. What we're getting ready to do, we're getting ready to cut this one shackle hanger off. We got to make a small adjustment on it, nothing major, just to get it all in line. And we're getting ready to pull the front plate off. We've been down here brainstorming on the best way to pull it off to make sure nothing moves when Ivan gets it over there on the table to finish welding it up. So right now what we're going to do is cut that shackle off, get that right. He's going to finish up welding everything at the back, get that in good and solid. Then we're going to brace this thing up where we're 100% sure nothing will move, take it off. He's going to take it over there on the table and do his magic and make it look pretty and new. So
Magic Ivan.
that's what we got going on today. Done with this. That was about it.
The proper adjustment made.
Yeah, it's let's get it in line. Put a tape on it.
You got the light shining in your eyes, hold on.
Like this. Needs to be a cut like that, and we're good to go.
That's always been a challenge with doing these, because even, you know, you got the leaf spring packs to contend with. You got bushings that may be a little funky, so
Yeah, and
that's been a lot. I know that like every time we do one of these and you mock it up with leaf springs, it can be a bit tricky. That's why your points have to be so dead set on, because the leaf spring might not even be correct, right?
yeah, and I don't think I mentioned this. What makes a van like this and the kind of vans we build to go camping in a little more difficult is this is not like a van that came from the factory where everything is equal weight wise. This camper van, we know, weighs more on this side because there's a propane tank, the refrigerator, the stove, everything is on this side of the van.
Right.
So when it's sitting on the ground, automatically it's going to be lower on this side. So when you're planning on, when you're doing this, what do? Do you compensate with it to level it up? Do you cut it in half, or do you put it like it would be from the factory?
Right.
So that's
and that's stuff
that's
you got to
one of those
remember when it
things,
hits the
yeah.
ground and you're like, it's off. Where
How
all my
somebody-
measurements
yeah.
are dead on.
and
like
how when
what?
somebody's going camping, how are they going to load it? How is it going to be done? You just kind of it's kind of a guessing game. But then again, when it goes down the road and you see it lower on one side, you don't want people saying, well, look, them idiots made that wrong. Well, not necessarily. It's just all the weight of the camping stuff is on that side. So
Right.
it's just a lot of stuff to think about. You do the best you can, and it's going to look good either way. It's going to look good. It'll look right. So
I guess we kind of have an advantage in this way that we have. It's not like a kit going onto a van that we're not around. We're actually building this to this van,
right, yeah,
and we got it here. We can dial it in, and
yeah, it's in a way it's easier to build it to each van than it is just to build a blanket kit that's going on a van. But it's fun. It's fun.
When you don't have a jig, it is easier, but
Yeah, it's
Right.
fun.
I just try to knock the water
you test it and see if it's hot.
off. I'm cold.
Yeah.
My fingers are cold. This ain't for this. This is for me. Ah!
Whoa.
Got a little too comfy there. Nothing to talk about. I'm just let's get a light. I'm just knocking the water off. Nothing crazy. It's completely, the welder's more than capable of conjoining these. I'm just doing this because I like to.
Whoa. Well, that's kind of.
It's grease. Because on like an initial tack, if everything's real cold,
Yeah.
like it does this weird sound, and like it's getting shocked with the cold and stuff. And only on the first tack, and once it gets a little heat in there, then it starts acting fine. But
Right, but you won't.
I just don't. I mean, when I buzz it, I like to. I don't know.
You only get one chance at an impression. You only get one chance at a first tack.
Like Ivan is finishing up getting everything tacked as good as we feel like it can be. So when he takes it off, nothing moves, so he can weld it up over on the bench. I am getting ready to cut the pieces that we make for the engine cradle, and the way this, not a big deal, just pointing it out, but the way this frame kicks out, we usually make these pieces, these angle irons, we cut 10 inches long, but with this bend, we're only gonna go 8 inches, and we have to stay in this area. And the reason why is we use these 3 threaded holes right here, that this is where the 2-wheel drive suspension was bolted. And that is what the engine was bolted to. So we utilize these holes and these outside holes where it was bolted at. So we've got to use this section to make our mount off of, because the engine mount can't be welded in permanent. It's got to be able to be taken out in case the engine ever has to come out of it. So you can take that out. So just another little difference that we knew that difference was there, but it's just what is causing us to make something just tweaking it a little bit different than what we normally do.
Right.
Just the way it is. And see this right here. Here's a good this will show y'all a lot of times how I talk about how the holes are can be different, and you may have to tweak on our holes when we send the kit out. This right here will show you exactly why. You see these holes here? That's got a threaded insert in it. All right, this hole is that size. That threaded insert is welded in there. See how it's not exactly centered? It's off to this side. That thing can be off anywhere inside that hole. So it could be off center anyway. So that's when you go to bolt our kit up sometimes, like there. That one's completely off center. They're all different from van to van because when they put those inserts in there, they drill this size hole, then they put an insert in there, it's a little smaller, but it don't always hit it dead in the center at the same spot. So when you go to bolt our kit on that we've drilled to match the holes on our jig, sometimes it's not going to be 100%. So that's why we tell you may have to open up some of your holes right there. It's we would love to take the blame for something we did wrong, but we didn't. It's just the way the vans are made.
Wow, these are off down here too.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're always there.
And too, that cradle, what he's talking about, that 2-wheel drive cradle, it's got like slots. They're not necessarily whole; they're also slotted. So it's got a little bit of. We don't have one right here.
Yeah, come here.
In fact, here's the front end piece that come out of the van.
This is what Seth's talking about. See, these holes are slotted because they're not a direct line up. So it's just the way it is. And you know, I'm sitting here thinking, we were worried about a 1/16 of an inch, and the factory don't even care about inches.
Going on over here.
It's about to be a bunch of loud sparks for a minute. And then I'm gonna weld this this front plate up, and I'm super excited. And it's gonna look good, and I'm gonna finish all the pieces and parts that go on to it.
Heck yeah.
So, I'm really excited. It's gonna be good. What am I looking for now? This.
We let you even use the tripod.
All right, the tripod messed me up. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I just recorded like a 5-minute thing. Go ahead.
I might have to go over this. Yeah, go ahead. Never mind. Go ahead. No, we're scrambling around going in all different directions. But I'm cutting the pieces for the engine cradle right now that will go in this area. We will drill holes in it to bolt here, and then there'll be a plate that goes on the outside that plates, and we've got a crossbar that goes under the oil pan. And when you go to take the motor out, all you have to do is unbolt these bolts, drop the whole engine cradle, and you can take the engine out. Hopefully, you won't ever have to take the engine out, but just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case.
All right, now what were y'all
What
over
were we
here talking about?
We posted about our 30-year-old Lincoln welder that we've been using. It's the only welder we ever had in the shop. And it's done so much, like from when we were mud racing, we've done hardtail choppers, we've built all the vans with that welder. And we decided to post about it. And it's cool because our favorite show is Game of Thrones. Like Ivan, you, me, we all binge to watch it.
Yeah.
Not you.
He has not seen it, but
it's
we
crazy.
are fans.
Yeah, we posted about it, and on their story right before us is some Game of Thrones art. Somebody had welded. It said "Winter's coming," and then it goes to us.
Winter.
So we just thought, I was like, what are the chances that our favorite? They post about some artwork from our favorite show that it's us, you know? So just cool stuff.
Winter's coming.
Something's coming.
What do you think about it, Odin?
This is some artwork.
This is the Lincoln welder. So that's all you need right there, Lincoln welder. All right, I saw you over here working on this.
Yeah, it's been a little cold, so I can't quite clean it like I want to. But the best thing to do, what I've found, is if you got gunk, you got grease, and before you want to paint, you got to scuff all that stuff up, get it as clean as possible. So it looks a little rough now. It's just still, I just cleaned it the best I could with the wire wheel. After that, we're gonna find a good sunny day and we'll take it out, oven cleaner, degreaser, all that stuff, pressure wash, and then this thing will kind of be ready for some paint. And I've got all the other parts I need to separate. I got those. We got these aluminum pieces here. All these will be cleaned up. These will actually be painted too. But yeah, we're just going for simple black, all black. Black looks good.
Sleek.
So, that'll get a full freshen up there.
She's getting a whole beauty day, huh? We're going.
What's that? This is kind of what dreams are made of.
Oh, tell them about it.
What we have here, we've had an idea of building a van that we can pound on, tear up, see how good our kits will do, and we can't take our daily drivers and do that. So one of the things we want to do this year is we want to build what we've been calling the Thrasher van. And that's what we want to do. We want to build a van, 4-wheel drive, just nasty, tough as we can possibly build it, but we needed a motor to do it with. And of course we were thinking Chevrolet. And we could call this segment probably, why would you do that? It would be because we had it.
Because we had it.
We've had this motor with my buddy Tim at OK Recycling. He's an AMC guy, one of our great friends, has done so much for us. Been trying to figure out something to put this motor in. And when we had the idea of this van, we said, you know what? We got this. Why not put it in the van? So We're gonna see what y'all think. I've done so many Chevrolet conversions on Jeeps. What do y'all think about a Jeep conversion on a Chevrolet? And y'all see us tear it up.
I'm for it. I'm all game.
Put in the comments, tell us what you think, see if that's something y'all want us to build. We're gonna build it anyway, but
It's gonna have a nasty transmission behind it. Too.
we think an AMC 401 with a big old stall converter and a trans brake and a turbo 400 would be pretty awesome in a Chevrolet van. So
Sounds pretty exciting to me.
give us your
Yeah.
ideas of what y'all think. It's gonna happen either way.
Yeah, there's nobody that can stop us. Not even the hardest of
Of
diehard
haters.
AMC fans can
Yeah.
direct where this motor's gonna go.
You have no power here.
Herman Lewis himself couldn't come back and stop us at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But y'all, comment. Let us know what you think. We think it'd be cool.
Give us comments. What else should have it on it? Paint schemes,
Yeah,
other
yeah.
concepts or ideas.
Yeah.
What
Right
else should
across
we
the
do?
side, because we had it.
Because we had it.
Yeah, it's
No,
just gonna-
I have a vision. I got a vision for this
Yeah.
thing, and it's going to be unmistakable to the public, to the police, to the United States military.
You wanna,
We want it to be a threat to society that it even pulls out of the garage.
Yeah,
We
that's
want it to
right.
be so. It's going to be loud. It's going to be huge. It's going to look like this. It's going to have all kinds of like unique properties on it. We're going to cut this thing up. We're going to put stuff on it. We're going to make it one of the nastiest things you've ever seen. And
I can guarantee this.
I am anyway. If he, I don't know. He
No,
might
I
do
want
it.
mamas to get their children off the street when it comes.
Yeah,
to it.
exactly.
Come on, y'all, come on.
We're
I
going to
can-
bust the eardrums.
I can guarantee this.
Okay.
It will be off the ground more than it will be on the ground. Because
we-
as soon as we hit that trans brake the first time, it's gonna be trouble. So
I used to have so much fun hill and hole mud racing that I just, this is something that would be cool. We can't pound on our daily drivers, so we want to build something to have fun. We got to get all these other builds out of the way first, so it's not going to be anything that happens immediately.
No.
But y'all let us know what you think in the comments.
yeah.
If y'all,
we just
if
wanna
y'all
put that
want
out
to see
there
something
for
like
some-
that.
And also
Food for
Tim
thought.
Griggs, thank you. You're crazy enough to partner with us, do all this crazy stuff with us, and obviously with OK Recycling. So
We
shout
couldn't do
out-
it without you.
Couldn't do it without you. And also shout out to him for being such a diehard AMC guy and him being crazy enough to want to see this thing in an old junky 80s Chevrolet van.
So let's remind them one more time. It's a 401.
It's 401 Master Hog AMC.
What is it? Go to the backs, man. Let's go to the backs.
Well, what are y'all doing?
We don't know.
You don't know? I don't know either.
No, we're mocking up the engine cradle. This is something that we usually do on the jig, but being that the differences in the year models, we can't use the jig to do it. So we're gonna have to mock it up on the van itself. But we're gonna have to do a little bit of guessing. Excuse me. A little bit of guessing because we don't have the motor and transmission in here. Usually when we make an engine mount and the motor and transmission is still in the van, we really have a reference point because we leave the motor hanging, but go ahead. But the transmission is still mounted in the van in the location it's going to be. So when we go to put the engine cradle up to the motor, we know the motor is in the right place forward and back because the transmission is mounted in the stock location, so we know it's not going to go anywhere. We just have to kind of get it lined up, put back in the position where it's going to be centered in the van. So that is what we are doing now. We're getting ready to mock up the engine cradle and take some measurements on a van that's already got a motor in it, so we know we've got it placed in the right location. So when we put the V8 in it, it will be in the right place because this van did have an inline six in it. So that's what we're doing.
Cool. Hi. What are you doing?
Nothing. What are you doing?
I'm videoing.
Oh, hello there.
Grinding you a little soapstone, eh?
Yes, I am grinding.
Just a little shimmy for you. Got a little shimmy in your himmy, do you?
Taking it back out. Got some mock-up ideas.
Putting them back in. We can't do that.
Never mind.
Never
It's
mind.
not gonna happen. All right.
All right. What I'm doing now is getting this engine block. This engine block right here. It's a 350 Chevrolet block that I have probably used. I mean, you hear people say hundreds, but nobody does that much work. I've probably used this block 50 times putting Chevrolet motors in Jeeps. This was my mock-up block. I never could afford one of those high-dollar nice plastic blocks that the big guys get to use. So this is my mock-up block, but I've got everything figured out on pretty sure where the motor needs to go from measurements I've taken, but the only thing I'm second guessing myself on is the pitch of the motor. I don't want the motor sitting, I want it sitting at the right level in the van. So I'm gonna go ahead and bolt the motor mounts, the style motor mounts we use on the block, and then put our engine cradle bolted up, and then we're gonna just maybe put the motor on the transmission jack and set it up in there. So when we weld this in, we know it's at the right spot and the motor's at the right pitch, and it won't be sitting down in the back or whatever. So just one of the things I'm doing. I just want to make sure it's in there right. So that's what I'm doing. You did that freehand?
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I know.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I was nervous, but I did it.
That is pretty good. I just put a new tip on it too.
I know.
So that made a big
it's sweet.
difference, yeah.
It's buttering by, man.
Yeah,
it's
that's
doing
gonna.
good.
Once this thing is cleaned up and all the edges straightened up, it's gonna look good. And this thing, I guess we've probably told it. This thing, once it's we've never made one for a van this year model, but we're like it's not only gonna be what puts the leaf springs on the van. It's gonna tie the whole van, strengthen it up. It's nothing. It's not gonna do anything other than make the whole van stronger too. And then if you ever wanted to put a winch on it, it would be a good place to figure out a way and put a winch mount on it. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, you could definitely fabricate a nice plate off of that and make it a nice one.
It's probably overkill. The first van,
Right here.
we ever did,
You had it a minute ago.
we didn't even have. I didn't have no idea. See, all it was just these spring hangers welded onto the van. That was it. None of this other stuff, structure stuff. It was just these welded directly to the van, and which is fine. There's a lot of them done it. That van right now. It went to France, and I just talked to the guy back and forth through Messenger. He just got back from a 6-month excursion in South Africa in that van with those.
South Africa.
South
folks.
Africa in that van.
Like what the heck? That's freaking awesome.
The swim shop is international.
It wasn't a swim shop then. It was. Just,
Oh yeah, that's
It
true.
was just the 4-wheel drive van we built. But
It was 3 guys, 1 welder.
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, 3 guys, 1 welder.
3 guys, 1 welder goes international.
And so far, we are definitely in France and Canada for sure.
UK. Neil.
UK for
Shout out
sure.
to Neil.
Yeah, Neil, what's up? Neil and family, what's up? Where else?
We are all over California. Just about every kid.
Yeah, we're smeared like a buttered biscuit on California, which is crazy because
Yeah, 90% of the kits we sold are in California.
What do I need to do, Professor Gadget? Oh, wait. Oh. My phone. Well, I thought my phone was recording upside down. Anyway, how do I turn this thing on?
you see that switch, the only up and down looks like a light switch. Hey, look at that, you're certified.
Whoa!
Look, you're certified, she knows how to turn it on.
I've taken your job.
Dang.
Trace one of it? You did trace
So how did you do it?
No, I traced one. Yeah, I traced one of these, but when I did this, I had no guide.
Right.
It was these 2 mitts, me brain, and the swivel. All right, here we go.
Again, let's just look at this.
Whoa, you're getting bad angle. Give me that, please. He's at White's Junkyard now, and he was asking me, "Hey man, I went out there. He showed me all these drone shots of the vans. And he said, start here. Get in here,
Rocky.
What do I look like? I probably look like a fighter pilot.
You look like something, honey. You look real smart.
I tell you what though, the reason why I've been wearing these here lately is because my ears, where I've been running chainsaws and shooting guns and doing all kinds of stuff all my life, these are awesome. And I just got a pair of Harbor Freight and I love them. That's why I'm wearing them, because my ears are ringing every time I go home and I'm tired of it. So put your ears on, Smokey. It's actually not going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, and that's going to be close, but we got to get it. I'll put a tape on it, but it's got to be. Got to go over that one a little bit.
All right.
All right, we've got what we're doing now. You saw us put the engine block on here so we can cut our engine cradle so we can weld it into the van. But what we're doing, when we build the kits, we've got the jig that we can put these on so that we know when we put them on they're in the same spot. But what we did, I think, my van Timothy, if you can go back and watch the build on it, I had made the engine cradle for it while the motor was in the van, so I knew it was in the right spot. So when we made our jig, we took that engine cradle off, and when we welded this to the table, we took the engine cradle and bolted it here, and then we made these points here to simulate the motor mounts on the block to where they would go. So when we make our engine cradles, they're in the same spot, the same time, every time. So we don't have that option here because we're having to make it up to that. So what we're doing, Seth just pulled his van down. What we're going to do is take a couple of the measurements off of it to see exactly how far up on these pieces of angle that we weld the pipe to it, and how far up and back. We know we're pretty close. It's going to be kind of in between these 2 bolts here, but we're going to get an exact measurement off his because we know his engine is in the right spot, and then we'll cut it and weld it up there, and we will be good to go. And then we'll make the side plates to bolt it in here, because I know we've said this. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These 7 bolt holes on each side are what hold the whole 2-wheel drive engine suspension and everything. So the stuff that we make, we utilize the existing bolt holes. These 2 holes here are not threaded, but these holes are threaded, these 2 holes are threaded, and these 3 holes are threaded. So that's the holes that we use, those threaded holes that are already in the frame to bolt that engine cradle up. So it's just, that's one of those things, we try to use everything there so it can be as much of a bolt-on deal as possible without having to, so you can take it all apart and take it down. So anyway, I may have explained that 100 times before in other videos, I don't know. But
It's explained in this one.
and this here, this is very dangerous. Don't do this at home. This thing could fall off at any time and crush your toe.
All right, well, we just got done tacking this thing in.
We have it lightly tacked in, but it is sitting in the exact spot it is sitting in Seth's van, because we took all the measurements off his, so it's dead in where it's supposed to be, and it looks good. We're gonna burn it in a little bit, and we'll get it off and let Ivan finish welding it up. I could weld it, but he does a little bit prettier welds than I do. So.
Or no. You want to get in here first?
Yeah, let me get in there first.
You
with
get in there and
everything.
do that. I'll work on this. I'll weld this up while you work on this.
Cool. We're kind of in the short rows on as far as the kit or the front plate for this. It's been a lot of little welds, big welds that had to happen. I mean, is there anything that you run into or anything that you can point out on it, or?
No, just figuring out the design and what was going to look good and how we was going to finish this plate. That's all we wrestled with, and I just now relieved a little bit on the inside. Looks rough now, but for the bushings and the spring. So it's a nice fit in there and it don't rub anymore. So it's pretty good. Which is fine because we designed this after and we didn't know. And usually sometimes I have to go in and tweak the kits and this too, which is fine. It's a normal thing for us anyway. But yeah, we're getting, Seth's gonna flap it. I'm gonna weld up the engine cradle and we're gonna keep on rolling.
Yeah.
Keep on rolling.
Odin's gonna find stuff that he probably shouldn't be eating. Get your head out of there. What'd you find?
I swept the floor, so he shouldn't be too much. But now he's like, see, he's getting out of the main box. He's like, there's nothing in the floor for me to eat. Oh, get out there. Get out there. That's good. That's
Swim shop 4x4.
swim shop
Workout.
4x4, keeping it real. Every kit, 700 reps.
Got 700 reps
Of this?
that thing.
I can tell you right now, whichever side that this is on is going to be a bigger arm.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, I don't even know if my.
Oh, Seth, hit this real good. Like, just
Just kind of shape that.
yeah,
plant.
this is the side that goes along the frame, so we want to make sure it's nice.
You want to
Like when you flap it.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Does
about.
it need a bevel for anything, or you just?
No, I just like just slick it and slick her up. Odin,
Out of the corner.
your little.
It's gonna last you a while, bud. We got him this tire. This Tractor Supply tire biter. And he bit it all right. He destroys everything. So.
Yeah, he's all boy now. I'll tell you.
you doing over here?
I'm getting ready to cut out, we call them the wings that go on the engine cradle, that go right here on the frame. I think y'all saw, I explained how we did the engine cradle and how we bolted it up to it. This is the piece that will go here that will weld to the engine cradle with the bolts go on the bottom, and then we can bolt into these holes here. And then that way when we slide it up, it's like this. It slides up and wraps around the frame and bolts in. So I'm cutting them out now so Ivan can weld them too.
Gotcha. There they are.
Yep, just gotta clean up the edges and drill the holes and get them ready to weld.
Side plate, engine cradle.
Yeah, and we're able to use the exact same pattern we use on the other vans, but the way it is, we had to shift the holes back about 2 inches to get everything right. So I'm just making sure everything lines up right and it hits the holes. All right. Let's see if they line up. Honestly, that's as good as this shop can do. we can't get it any better than that. That's pretty good. So, we'll find 2 bolts to stick in there so he can tack it up to the other side and we'll weld her up.
Is that what welders sound like?
Kind of. I gotta do one thing before
okay.
I am gonna clean my shield because I sure can't weld if you can't see. Yeah. Oh, now we're in business. I got a trigger gun and a weed now. Oops.
That is insane.
I told you it sounds like
You were 100%
I was
correct.
170% correct. All right, check this out, gang.
That's pretty sweet.
It looks like sheep doo-doo, but it worked.
It worked big time.
It worked. Yo. There you go, Jake, my man.
Yo.
Talking looking good for you, bud. He's probably like, don't call me my man. I'm not your man.
What's that? There we go.
Holy cow.
That's a unit.
Yeah, that is a. We are probably going to be replacing it with. They're both Saginaw boxes, but just the way that they mount is different. So if we can make it all work with a steering column, we're probably going with a box like this.
Alright, so we just painted the whole back side. It's going to be actually touching to the van. We're going to go back and grind all our edges that need to be welded, but we wanted to get this painted before it was permanently welded and put up frame touching the parts and all that stuff, and just to help it last longer and no water, if water got back there or whatever. It just helps protect it when it's just metal against metal and all that good stuff. So
Yeah, and this is, we had made the decision we're gonna not just bolt this on like we do the kit. It's gonna be welded and bolted on, which is the same thing you could do with the kits too. When you get them, you can bolt them on and weld it also. But since this is not a kit going out the door, this is a 4-wheel drive conversion we're doing. It's gonna be bolted, welded, and solid.
let that do its thing, and
It
then
looks glassy porcelain. It's
Yeah, I
got
know.
that little man, it almost look like old crockware, the old camping crock pot stuff.
Yeah.
Like speckled porcelain, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, just like a nice off little speckle, that's pretty cool.
but that's some thick industrial like paint. It's pretty good. That's about as good as you can get without powder coating something in a can. That is
As good as we can get it.
Yeah.
I mean, we like we've said, we don't have the latest and greatest of the equipment and tools, but
We don't have a lot, but we do with
We
a lot
got-
with what we have.
Yeah, it
There we
does,
go.
it does a good job of what we have. I'll say this, and I'm not trying to knock it or anything or say, but I personally like the way our stuff looks better than the old Pathfinder stuff that I've got under and looked at.
right.
I can't wait to see it all painted. I can't wait to see it all welded up here.
All right. I just crawled out from under this thing. Everything is painted. Probably will get another coat, but we went over it pretty good with flashlights, and we're spraying everything we could. And this paint is like I mentioned, it is a frame paint, so you can just slather it on there and it's going to protect this thing for quite some time. But I
Yeah,
think
it-
it's the end of the day.
Oh
ain't it?
yeah, and this is not the final paint. This is just some paint on there so we can keep it from rusting until we finish it up. But we've pretty much got. I mean, it's welded on. We not only bolted this thing on, it is welded on every place it touches the van. So it is not going anywhere. It's stout. It's stout, and you know it's a lot of work gone into this. It's a shame the only part you're going to see is just this little bit right here, because the bumper's going to be covering up everything else. But we feel good about it. It's solid. It's the first one we've ever done, and I think it's going to work out good. I think it's
Oh,
going to be a good conversion.
I was surprised he was able to weld that gusset on the back side, fighting the radiator hose and all that stuff. It's all welded, and I guess next time you'll see it on the ground.
Yeah, we'll put the we'll mock the axle and everything back up under it. We think we've got the steering figured out. We took the stock box off, which is here, and this is a box. This is probably not the box we'll use, but it's one like that comes on the later vans. We think we've got it figured out how we can mount it up and down perpendicular like it is on the later model vans. We just got to get the other steering column because it's taking the straight gear steering column out, so we'll put an automatic steering column in, and once we get that in there, we'll get the steering box mounted and made it up to the steering column. But when we do mount it, we got to make sure that we're dead in line with the tie rod ends for the crossover steering, because the older Pathfinder vans, the way they did the steering is they mounted the box they made a plate and mounted it this way, where the arm went like this and went back to the pitman arm here like it did on the square body trucks, which that's okay. The square body trucks did it that way for years, but when you lift one up, it's a lot better to go with the crossover steering. It drives better, handles better, and it's a lot more responsive with that. So we're doing it that way so we can go with crossover steering instead of going with the old square body style. So cool. But yeah, it's we're going. It's never goes as fast as you want it to go, but we're happy with the progress and happy with the way it looks like it's going to turn out. So right now we're tired. We just got a text saying that dinner was ready, and I think we're going to call it a day. Go eat some supper, and Seth is going to finish editing a video here for you guys. As usual, man, y'all just keep doing what you're doing. We really appreciate it. It's the last few weeks our channel has really done good. We've got some activity, a little bit of activity. We've been talking to a few companies here in the last week, which is a good thing, and it's going to help the channel out. So we feel good about where it's going. We got the I hope y'all like the idea of the Thrasher band we're going to build. We're really looking forward to doing that. We got to get all these other projects out of the way and start on it. We're gathering parts for it now. I don't know, just y'all keep doing what you're doing. Oh, the Power and Sound revival that my wife Michelle and daughter Olivia put on in May. Be sure to check that out. Power and Sound Revival. Go to the website, go to the Facebook page, check it out. We'll be talking more about it as the time comes leading up to it. And always be sure, not always, they're kind of new to us, but check out Prism Supply down in Charlotte. This is Jake's van that owns Prism Supply. Be sure to check them out. They make some cool stuff. If you're into choppers, they have got some top-notch, top quality, best you can get stuff. So check out Prism Supply in Charlotte. And yeah, just check those. There's some cool guys down there. I've enjoyed talking to Jake and keeping up with him about this build here. We're looking forward to the future and doing some camping together. Our buddies down in Burlington at OK Recycling, as always, check them guys out. Seth will put the flyer up on them. It's always at the beginning of the channel. Renegade Tees, Renegade Graphics, that does all our merch. Check those guys out, Mark. Be sure to buy some merch. We're up in our merch game, so buy some merch. That really helps us out. And like I always say, y'all keep doing what you're doing, and we'll keep doing what we do.